teacher. Today my group and me are going to explain some learning theories based on the elementary basic education. First, introduction. It corresponds to second, third, and fourth grade of basic general education, and it's preferably offered to students from 6 to 8 years old. The main role is forming competent, autonomous, and critical readers, speakers, and writers. Curricular threats. We have 5 curricular threats for elemental basic education. First, communication and cultural awareness. Introduce learners to various cultural contexts in order to better understand their own culture and that of others. That means students like link familiar contexts like home or school and increasing their vocabulary and experiences. Second, oral communication, listening and speaking provides a favorable environment, fluency, focus, experiential and organic oral skills development through interpersonal interaction and authentic input that develop listening skill through sounds or storytellings that increase their vocabulary knowledge. Also involve speaking skills. They need to practice short dialogues or short conversations about the topic. Third, reading. As provide learners with new and interesting information, they will learn to equate some letters relationship, which is an essential part of literacy. This will help students with reading skills like pronunciation, vocabulary, and also with speaking. Giving funny text to students can recognize new words and learn. Fourth, writing. It is important to note that in teaching French language, learning how to speak and read English, it is important not neglect the writing development. Through short notes, the writing skills like grammar, spelling, and also vocabulary help to grow their knowledge. And five, language through the art. Learners will participate in a range of activities meant to help them develop an affinity for an enjoyment of literature and the art by interacting with both oral and writing text. Students are able to express their abilities in art, for example, in music, literacy, science, math, in that areas. Also share their knowledge between each other.
Okay. And behaviorisms, in the curriculum, there are approximately 4 to 5 behaviorism objectives. For example, imitate individual English language sounds, specifically those phonemes which do not exist in the students or L1, but in isolation and within the key vocabulary items and in words like singing, that's up, see, etc. And I think this is behaviorism because when we talk about our goal of a song or means assimilate a reaction, that means that we present stimulus to sounds and the reaction instantaneous. And the behaviorists talk about behaviors and environment factors, how students react in the classroom and helps the teacher to understand the environment. Okay, thank you, teacher.
Humanism. Humanisms focus on each individual's potential and stress the importance of growth and self-actualization. Also, for humanism is important of human values and dignity. It proposes that people can resolve problems through the use of science and reason. Elemental basic education have some humanistic objectives. but I choose one that is appreciate the use of English language through spoken and written literacy texts such as poems, rhymes, chant, writers, and song, in order to foster imagination, curiosity, and memory, while developing a taste for literature. It means that the students can improve and learn vocabulary through the literacy text. Also, they can create and develop their imagination. Some students standing up in art increase their knowledge with these activities. And the others can develop the ability to create and imagine. For example, when they are writing a poem, they have to look for the correct words. Also, when they want to learn their favorite song, they are going to memorize the lyric. Thus, learn does also help us to can learn the target language. It is also important when doing these activities to create a friendly environment so that the students feel comfortable and confident. This objective is related with the curricular trip number 5, which is to learn through the art. As well, it's relevant to add humanistic purpose to the class since this help up to um, develop and shapes or human being behaviors. Um, Also, applying these kind of activities, they are going to express more, and maybe that activities like
Okay, now I'm going to talk about connectivism in the elementary educational curriculum. First, I'm going to start with some general and brief characteristics about connectivism. So the first one says that connectivism explains that internet technologies create opportunities to learn and share information online. The second one is that learning can reside in not human artifacts. The third one is the ability to know more is more important than what is current to know. And then finally, learning and knowledge are found in the diversity of opinions. Okay, after that brief explication, the objective that I choose in relation to the elementary education curriculum is the following. Show the ability to use a simple learning resource. Example, a small set of flashcards, a picture-based dictionary, could be online or print, or a simple word list. This objective is related to connectivism for this reason. First, here knowledge occurs through peer networks that take place online. Also, better knowledge opportunities are created through online activities. And finally, simple online resources allow students to share information with each other. So, in conclusion, the personal knowledge provided through simple online resources enables the students to stay current through the connection they have formed. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, the part that I'm going to talk about right now is the communicative competence theory. For starting this, we have to know what is it. It's the capacity of a person to be effective when a situation of speaking comes. Not only that, but also understand in a specific communicative event. For that is implied to use rules like the grammatical rules and the levels of linguistic description, lexical and phonetic and semantic. With the rules are related with the context behind, for example, cultural or social, where implies a communication group. social rules and psychological that determine the use of particular language. This is important for this communicative competence theory. So this theory has four competence, for example, like the grammatical, sociolinguistic, strategy, and discursive competence. Today, we are going to concentrate us in the discursive competence. This concerns the selection of sequencing and arrangement of the words, structures, sentences, and for achieving and unifying spoken written text. And also the coherence and the structure of the text is really important here to be able to understand the person who is speaking. So for this, I have an example. The example is write short descriptive and informative text and use them as a means of communication and writing expression of thought. With this, what we can say with what we said behind is that here we need to write, and for the right, short, descriptive, and informative text, we need cohesion and coherence. And to use that as means of communication also involves a social environment where you need to be understood. And write an expression of thought that also includes the social environment. So for this, the person who writes, or in this case, the student, needs to be coherent. So, thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to talk about constructivism in national curriculum for elementary education. First, I'm going to explain some focuses that constructivism has. Constructivist theory focuses on the construction of knowledge through social interaction, experience, and authentic tasks. The motivation is a primary factor in the teaching learning process. With a constructivist teaching learning approach, students develop metacognitive, cognitive, and socio-affective skills, achieving autonomy. One of the main objectives that is connected to constructivism in the national curriculum is the following. Make a simple resource in order to record and practice new words. For example, a picture dictionary, a word list, set of flashcards, etc. What do students develop with this? The student develop active intellectual participation, ability to assimilate, accommodate, and adapt current information to a new mental scheme, and also skill development. In conclusion, the curriculum recognizes that learning is not just about acquiring facts, but also about developing skills to support lifelong learning. For this reason, I consider that constructivism is related to the objective because the use of these tools help the student to develop autonomy and critical thinking to face problems of everyday life. Considering that the student must become the main protagonist of the teaching and learning process.
Okay, so the intercultural model is also present in the national curriculum for elementary education. There are about like 5 objectives that are intercultural models. Some are purely intercultural and some are combined with other methods. For the objective I'm going to analyze is the following. Ask simple basic questions in class about the world beyond their own immediate environment in order to increase their understanding of different cultures. Okay, so why is this intercultural model? This is intercultural because it has a focus on the cultural diversity and its appreciation. The students use the language they communicate to learn about new cultures, to learn more about the world, even their own country, because let's remember that Ecuador is a country full of different cultures, different nationalities like Quichua, Shuar, Montubio, Otavaleño, Sarauro, Natabuela. They are all in the same country and they are still very different. So how good is this intercultural model, this intercultural approach in the curriculum? It is good because it helps the students not only to expand their horizons, not only to feel better by knowing new things, but also to love what's their own, to love their own culture. Because when we start comparing, we mean like a critical exercise, a critical thinking exercise in our minds, and we start to compare the good and the bad things about other cultures, and we say like, oh, you know what? My culture is fine. So that's it for the intercultural model. What conclusions can we take out of the national curriculum for elementary education? Okay, first of all, the curriculum has really works in theory, has really good responses about different things they want students to achieve. But in the real world, this has been proven not to work. And it should be subject of analysis of why this not works, what is happening with teachers, with the education system, because the curriculum is good, but why isn't it working correctly? Why students are not achieving all these objectives? Second, the curriculum has a great diversity of approaches. We have humanism, connectivism, intercultural model, communicative, constructivism, behaviorism. So teachers are able to work with different things, even combine them, because that's what education is about. Combining things to make greater things, to make our students learn in better ways. So I think this is a positive aspect because the more elements we have to work, the better we can do things. And finally, the main approach we can see in this curriculum is communicative, because using the language to communicate all the characteristics of communicative approach are more present in this curriculum. It is basically based on communicative with different elements of other approaches.